Yeah, I think it's different, crazy when it's your younger siblings. You watch them grow up, you watch them be so young and enjoy the game at such a young age, and just so proud of them when you see them playing in at the big stage in the World Cup for my brother, and in a professional game debut this weekend for my sister. So super proud of them. It's so nerve-wracking to watch them play out there, but super happy for them and really enjoying it.
So you've been along with the team longer than anyone else on the first team. Coming into this offseason, it's sort of a different experience, the way that you got in making to the postseason last year. Can you describe just like how the feeling is compared to previous years, and what the group has been feeling like?
Yeah, I think it feels good this year. I think compared to last year when we came in and everyone's kind of anxious, not really knowing what's going to happen. A few new faces, new coach, obviously. So had a little bit of nerves coming into the season last year, but this year completely different, knowing we had a good season last year, improved as the year went on, got to know each other better. So we come back to familiar faces, a familiar system. We know what's expected, and we're going to use these months, weeks to get ready for the season.
Greg, is new year, new expectations, understand. What have been the discussions like following a successful season where the team qualifies for the postseason, going into a new year where obviously you'd raise expectations, but also curious from up above as well?
I think it's about building on the foundation of last year. Not getting carried away and thinking all of a sudden, we're MLS Cup favorites. MLS is not very forgiving. You have to be focused on each and every game. And for us, it's acknowledging that we've built something good. The idea last year was to change the mindset of the group, change the expectations, give the fans something to be proud of, and now it's about building on that. We want to compete to win each and every game we're in, and then along the way keep getting better, and if we do that, we'll be in a good position.
So it's a big year for the club, just in terms of building on the progress from last season. But you often wear a bigger hat of an ambassador for the game in Chicago, and kind of nationally too. It's a huge year for American soccer. World Cup here. How do you, or how does the Fire capitalize on that interest and translate that into people coming to games and cheering the Fire on?
It's an exciting year for soccer in the United States. The World Cup is going to be monumental. We're going to have tons of fans from all around the world coming to the United States, Mexico, and Canada and celebrate soccer. And our job in MLS is to put a good product on the field, to give the fans both in Chicago and around the United States, something exciting to watch, and to continue to develop the game. And I think with the World Cup bringing attention to soccer, we'll do our thing, and we'll play good soccer, and hopefully fans will come out and watch us and be entertained.
Coach, obviously since you came here, you've always been linked with big players in pursuit, going big. Robert Lewandowski, the one that we've been hearing about. Can you confirm that interest in that player, and that's someone that you will keep pursuing in a sense, or would envision in this club?
I'm not going to get in the habit of talking to players that are under contract with other teams. What I would say is that we do have ambitions to bring top players to this club. When you look at the facilities, when you look at the stadium we're building, this is a place for top players. And, we want to keep getting better, and we want to attract fans into the stadium. So, whatever that takes, we'll do that.
Your opinion about the World Cup is there's 2 tournaments in MLS this year. I want to know your opinion about that.
No, I think it's in one way preparing for what's coming in 2027 with the break, but it is an extended break. I think it makes a lot of sense. Let's put all the focus on the World Cup. It's the world's biggest sporting event. We don't need to be distracting it, with league games going on during the World Cup. So I think it's really nice that we play just about at the end of the World Cup, because you're going to see the excitement. You're going to see how fans take to the game, and how much attention is brought to the game of soccer. And then I think we'll capitalize that and play on the 16th against Vancouver, and hope to have a great game.
And Greg, in terms of just some of the players who have been brought in this offseason, Salatros was someone I know the club's been linked to previously and wanted to bring in. What has made him sort of the guy you wanted to get done early? And has anything changed in the way that other teams are approaching dealing with you guys now that there is, proof that there is something here with the way you guys are building things?
I think that, we always want to make the team stronger. And everyone we bring in, we want to bring in with purpose. And when you look at the additions we made this winter, they're strengthening the squad. When it's Robin or Anton or Mbakazi or Puso or Josh Cohen, we brought in some good players that are going to help this team. And we're going to need a deep squad. We have a lot of congestion in the fixtures this year, so we're going to need to have all hands on deck.
And what is the thought from the organization as a whole? The excitement about Mbokazi obviously gets a lot of press as a center back who's been playing in AFCON and continental tournaments. What do you think he's going to bring to this franchise?
He's a player that has high potential, and he's already shown that he can deal with some top players and play at the highest stage. And now it's for us is about to get him prepared, used to the league, adapted to the league, and then get him prepared for the World Cup.
And then the Fire just added a second U22 from South Africa, so going from no guys in South Africa, I believe, in team history to having two at the same time. So can you talk a little bit about Desijane and also just like what it is that the team is seeing in South Africa that makes it look like a good place to find talent?
Well, I think there's two things. The first thing is that we want to bring talented players who can help the squad into this club. The second thing is, we think it's beneficial for them to have each other and to work in pairs. It's going to be a huge transition for both of the players, and it's comforting to know that they'll have someone from their home country to help them adapt.
The midfield's been something you've really sort of reshuffled a lot since you came here.
Yep.
You've got a lot of new additions. What about some of the guys that remained here in that position, someone like Kellen Acosta? Do you feel like he's going to be part of this team this year, or do you foresee a role for him, especially with all the new additions, and then Franco coming in later on this year?
Yeah, with Kellen, we're working on an exit strategy for him, and the reason why is because, he wasn't expected to get the game time that he needs to continue on in his career. So we're looking at something that works for both him and the club. In terms of Andre, we know his timetable is after the World Cup break, and to think about strengthening the team with someone that we already have is going to be a big boost to the group as we head out of the World Cup.
And just your staff specifically, it doesn't look like there was any turnover. What's it like having that continuity in year two for you and your backroom staff?
No, it's great. The staff worked really well together. The technical staff, the performance staff. We did add a strength and conditioning coach to the group, who's going to help. He's been in the league. He was at FC Cincinnati with their second team. But I think the staff is really helps everything run smoothly, whether that's the operations or the performance staff or the medical staff or the technical staff, and they work really well together. So, we're really happy about how they've been performing.
So speaking of working well together, obviously a lot less turnover in the squad this year than there was last year. How do you, get the group to build on what they had last year while also adding, like that additional piece? Obviously new blood's part of it, but I mean internal improvement as well. How do you?
Yeah, we have new demands. We have new demands on the player group. We want to, be a team that competes in each and every game, and we looked at some areas that we need to improve on, and we're focused on improving those areas. So, I think it's always new challenges. Every game is a different story, but specifically, we want to get better.
And so new challenges, the Fire participated before, but this will be your first year participating in the League's Cup. Can you just say, what your thoughts are on the tournament?
No, excited. I love, you guys know I love playing against Mexican teams, and it's going to be great. I think anytime you have a chance to compete to lift a trophy, it is an exciting time. The League's Cup brings a ton of excitement, and it's always nice when you face new opponents.
So, something the team has never qualified for in its modern form is the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Obviously, Leagues Cup is one way there. U.S. Open Cup is another one that's often, and there's some others as well.
Yeah.
Is that a goal kind of internally for something for the squad to qualify for that tournament?
we want to build a strong club, and I think part of building a strong club means you need to be successful, you need to win things. So it's eventually a goal of ours. I'm putting any timetable on it, but I know we want to get better this year, and we want to compete.
In terms of the roster coming in now as of today, do you feel pretty set with it, or is there some areas maybe for depth that you're still looking to add on to it as we stand right now?
Yeah, I'd say we'd probably look to add one more player before the season starts. We'll see how that goes. That's not definite, but that's what we're looking for. And again, our goal, part of the move with moving Brian out was to create roster flexibility. And he's a fantastic player. He served the club well for 16 years. But him moving out gives us the funds to be able to make some of these moves.
These 5 games, the preseason,
Yeah.
you will have the chance to know all your players that before the season starts. Tell me more about it.
No, I think it's we're going to play 6 games in total, actually 7 games, and that's where you do your real work. The training pitch is great, but when you get out there and compete, you start to set the foundation for the new season, and we're looking forward to these games.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Greg.